Hello, Flat Earthers. I'd like to talk about the density problem, which also relates to gravity. First, I'd like to bring your attention to the Primer Fields, which is a documentary on YouTube, and it's very, very good. I thought you'll get a lot out of it, and I think it fits well with the Flat Earth. So how do I look at that density problem? First, I'd start out with, how did the world start out? Was it all a blob of things all mixed up, or was it already separated? And if it is one way or the other, why did it stay that way? If it's separated, why does it stay separated? So there are really three problems on the question of density. One is, why does it self-organize into layers instead of stay in a mixed blob? And then, why does more dense go down? Why doesn't it go up or to the side? And then, why does density stay down? Why does the effect of density persist? And to understand what I'm thinking, you can take density as an axiom, or you can ask, why does density happen? And it's the same thing with gravity. You can take gravity as a given, or you can say, what explains gravity? Why does it happen? So in this case, is density a cause or the effect of something else? So we know that gravity doesn't explain itself, and density doesn't explain itself. It doesn't explain its own persistence. Now let's look at the Primer Fields. Here you can see the fields around a central concentrated area. And the theory is that these Primer Fields organize matter. It organizes energy into material concentrations, what we call matter. And the definition of a field that I like to use is that a field directs energy. So if you have a magnet with a piece of paper on top of it, and you have some iron filings, the iron filings hanging over the paper that you're ready to sprinkle down, the filings have potential energy. Then when you start dropping them, the magnetic field will direct the kinetic energy embodied in the filings along the magnetic field lines. So the fields direct the energy. So let's use the term Primer pressure, and we'll get back to the Primer Fields. Here we have a dipole, and there's you, and they're opposite. And this Primer pressure is coming down, and it's going to, because things repel, similar things repel, you'll be pushed to the direction down. And if there's many of these things raining down on you, they'll all, in a way, push on you, and then when they go past you, they'll begin to repel. These two will begin to attract you down to the earth. But nothing's going to stop this Primer pressure from doing its job. And it's all related to basically dipoles. The flow of dipoles pulling you to the ground is what we call gravity. And there's something good about the concept. One is that the Primer pressure would be pervasive. The Primer pressure is basically electromagnetic activity, and there's a physical mechanism involved, and it's scalable from the lab up, and you'll see that if you watch that documentary. So let's take a look at how this looks. You can see the big structure, the basic structure. Then if we get in close, we can see certain things stand out. That this could be our stars up here. And this confinement dome isn't really a dome like a glass dome or it's basically electromagnetic pressure, you can call it. And it's not a real metal dome, glass dome type of thing. But it does provide certain qualities that are dome-like. One of the good things about this structure is that it has a central expulsion point, and a line of force that goes straight out and straight up. And this, to me, reminds me of Mount Meru, or the North Pole. And it also this structure also implies that it goes down in the other direction. So where would the sun and moon be? Probably in here, where they could absorb this energy, like a light bulb, perhaps, and they spin around that axis and glow. And then the Earth is either here or here, the actual Earth. And so you can see this flow of dipoles, this primer pressure, as I'll call it, for the sake of alliteration. And conceivably, this primer pressure can explain gravity, at least in concept. One of the other things I'd like to bring up is this idea of a doma, an actual glass dome. It's not the only model that there has been. In Eric Dubay's videos, he brings up I think it's the Vedic structure of the universe, and you can see these many layers involved, and the inner structure, or the tunnel, and maybe that's the tunnel these NDE people talk about. And you can see how the ancient world built pyramids that resemble that structure. And here's another one. And here's another. Well, this is where the flat Earth could fit in there somehow. And then you can get these to stack up. And so then you have the two fitting together with each other, which I like. And this just doesn't seem to work to me. If there's a hole here, then this ocean water would flow down, and then once you have a flood forever, right? Maybe it'll flow out, but then you lose your blue sky, right? Because the blue sky is supposed to be from this water. So I throw that out. The other good thing about this primer field structure is that it involves fields, whereas Newton is basically totally a billiard ball conception. And that's where really everything goes wrong in physics.